Today I'm going to show you how to make a formative pinch pot. We will be making 2 pinch pots, but today we're going to just try practicing the process. So the first thing you're going to do is grab a piece of clay out of the bucket that is a cube. If it is a cube, you are going to then tap it into a ball. Notice that this is not a loud activity, and your sphere itself does not even have to be a perfect circle, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to rest it in your non-dominant hand. I'm a right-handed person, it's in my left. I'm going to take my right thumb and I'm going to push my thumb into the clay all the way down to the bottom, but not through, okay? As I do that, then I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to slightly squeeze all the way around. I want the walls of my pot to be the same thickness. I do not want them to get too thin, because if they are too thin, they will crack. So it's about pinky thickness. Go down to the bottom down in here and make sure that the walls are equal all the way up. And you do not have to make yours in the air like I'm making mine. You could have it down on your workspace. The next thing that I'm going to have you do is you are going to take it and you are going to turn it upside down and tap it on the table. As you work on your tabletop, you are going to notice that this is now flat, and I can go through and I can simply keep making sure that this looks perfect. I also don't want it to roll all over the place, so I'm going to give it a tap at the bottom as well. So now my project has been molded. You'll want it to get leather hard before you make the extra additions. If you wanted to make yours not a circle, at this point, if you wanted to practice making it a square or a triangle or a heart, for instance, what you would do is you'd use the table again, but just on the side plane, to start shaping it into. So I'm starting to look triangular, like that. I could stop here and have a triangle, but I also could push and nudge and manipulate if I wanted it not to be a triangle. So for a formative, we are just showing our skills of how to take and make it perfect. So I would now let this sit out for a little while and stiffen up before I do my refinements, or I would blow dry it until it's no longer sticky and sticking to my skin. Remember, anything that doesn't grip and pull will be leather hard. Right now mine is plastic, so I'm going to stop what I'm doing so I can refine when it's leather hard. My formative pinch pot has a chance to get leather hard, but now I'm going to pull out a banding wheel. Those are underneath your table, and for easy cleanup, you can always put down paper towel. So what I need to do now is make sure, one, that it sits flat and that everything is kind of smooth and looks intentional. I also might go back and slightly squeeze the walls to make sure that they look level all the way around my pot. Because I did this portion on the heart, it's a little skinnier, so I want the rest of my pot to look similar without squeezing too far. You'll want to flip it over. See these lumps and bumps here and any wrinkles? You want to get rid of those, even on the bottom. You'll have some metal rib tools. You can take those and just curve and pull. That will level out any surfaces and make it nice and flat and intentional. Get rid of any finger marks. You can use it to kind of shave the clay. See how that's starting to look a little bit smoother. Whenever you want to go push something in, you want to support from the other side. So I'm going to do a side swipe here and get this all clean and perfect as well. Before it gets too stiff, make sure that the bottom looks nice, because I would love to see for you to stop and use your Maker's Mark stamp to stamp your work. So I'm going to take one finger on the inside and support where my stamp is going to go, and I'm going to push and wiggle my Maker's Mark stamp on the bottom. That will get you extra points if you're using your stamp. The inside is kind of hard to reach, so you might be using the wooden modeling tool to smooth it. A clean fingertip, make sure your finger stays clean. And then hard to reach areas, you might use a paintbrush, maybe a little bit of water, and kind of paint those hard to reach areas nice and smooth. Inside, outside, bottom, and edges I will be looking at when I'm grading your project, so you want to get in a good habit of doing it perfect everywhere. If you have any areas that need healing, you're going to use possibly the back of your fingernail if you need to. Very gentle touch on these. If you get done with your formative, you can start thinking about what you want your summative to look like, or you might continue to work by possibly adding intentional texture. I'm grabbing my pattern stamp, and I think I'm going to add some embellishments using that stamp as well, just to push it beyond a normal plain project. So that you are making a formative pinch pot, which will eventually take those skills to the next level to make a summative pinch pot.